If you're struggling with drawing folds for your character's clothes, then this will help you. So first let's actually start with something super important, which is tension points. And these points add tension to our clothes by simply pinching, pulling, stretching, compressing. So here with the basic one tension point, you see that this clothes, if we like hold as something, a towel or something, then we'll have a one tension point, for example, like here. And what it does, basically hold this clothes with one tension point, and the rest of the cloth is being affected by gravity. So you see that all those things actually go down, as they should, because gravity exists. But yeah, we have one tension point, and basically all lines go to that tension point, as you can see here. So basically this one point holds the whole fabric, the whole clothes, and the rest obviously is affected by gravity. But we can actually have more than only one tension point, and here we see two tension points, and it's basically like a towel or cloth or whatever you want, but you just hold this now by two tension points, and what it does is basically pulling and stretching the fabric. So depending on how close or how far apart these tension points are, the fabric will like get closer to each other, and this actually is super important. And here this U shape will actually get longer and longer and longer depending on how close it is, but also obviously here also, but also if we pull it far enough, okay, it will get like smaller, thinner, and like more tension, more compressed. So we need to actually remember about that. Obviously we can have this tension point like lower, so it would be something like that. There would be some hang, same like here, something like that, boom boom. Okay, so yeah, just remember about tension points when you're drawing clothes. If you want my brushes, they are for free. And also I'll give you one art tip every day for a month, just link below. Now let's quickly go over some types of folds. So first we have cylinder folds or pipe folds, and these are basically like they create these cylinders like here. So for example, let's say we have a shirt here. Let's make a simple shape like that. We have a tension point here, okay, and basically or more like tension point like here. So here we have one, boom, boom, one cylinder, boom, boom, boom. Here we would have other one, boom, boom. It's basically fabric like hanging here. And there's other one, let's make it like that. But here we just like, I don't know, pinch the fabric with our fingers, and it's pulling this fabric here. So here is basically like a resting stuff, but you know it's being pulled. So basically also like the closer to the tension point, the thinner it will get. And you see here it's much further and the cylinder is wider. But also if we had like two tension points here, we could make something like that. Okay, boom boom, like this goes basically to this tension point. So here we have thinner, boom boom boom. They're a little bit wider and bigger, and again thinner, like a cylinder. But obviously you see it here. So here we have like pipes. So basically this goes here, boom boom, one pipe. There would be another pipe, boom boom boom. That would be like a reverse pipe. Next we have diaper folds. So it's basically these ones, and these are basically when the fabric is suspended with two tension points. Okay, like here you see it creates this U shape here, here. Okay, obviously here we have like cylinder points if there's like enough fabric left. So basically here we want to like make this layering, I guess, of two tension points, one U, boom boom. Let's make this here. It doesn't have to be perfect, boom boom. Obviously less is more with fabrics and folds. You don't want to like add a lot. It's basically like a fabric that you take with two fingers, okay, or like two hands, and you have like two tension points and they are suspended in air. Or I mean, they don't really have to be, like it can be like a simple, I don't know, like a skirt or something. Here would be some fingers holding it, and this is just goes here, boom boom. Like here also have this U shape. It would just go like that still. Then we have zigzag folds, and these are usually found in like areas like bottom of the pants where the fabric is collapsing on each other, and also like when the material is stiff. For example, here we have like a zigzag fold. Okay, boom, here, and basically these are like triangles here, boom, here, another one here, boom boom. So here you see that it basically creates a Z. So now let's go to half lock folds, which are basically folds that overlap each other. So they are usually on the knees, behind the knees, and on elbows, where like parts are bending. For example, here you see that we have one half lock fold. So basically here would be like some hole, and here we have this fabric overlapping, like collapsing on, is basically like overlapping here, and from the side we it would be something like that, where it would be like a hole. So basically this, boom, and this goes above it, and basically it just like closes. You see here. Obviously we can here add some ambient occlusion, but yeah, it basically just overlaps the fabric, it bends. Now let's go to the spiral folds, which are basic folds that spiral. These are usually on like a tighter close or when the arm is twisting. There basically we have two tension points that are not like, you know, straight, they just wrap around the forms, okay? So here you see that the arm is twisting or like whatever it is, and here we have like a spiral. So basically here we can put like a basic fabric with like tension points going around here, boom, boom, and obviously the pipes. So yeah, as I said, these are usually on the like tighter close, and when drawing them we can actually think of the base shape as a cylinder because it's really easy to imagine the wrapping around. Okay, boom, boom. But now we have like pinching folds. Here we have tension point that is being squished by like two tension points. So basically it goes like here, boom, 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 goes like that. Here we have those tension points, but yeah, we can see it like here also. So yeah, these are basically where the fabric is being pinched or like squished together. Now a couple of tips to actually make your folds and clothes look much better and more aesthetic, more pleasing to look at, is a simple rule of small, medium, large, or small, medium, big. And basically we want to have a big areas of rest. For example, like here would be medium, and here would be like a smaller one, and here also. And we actually want to mix them. So for example, here we have like a bigger one. Here we can obviously have smaller, 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 and like here maybe a medium or something. Also like here you see that there's like a pretty big one, and it just gives your eye some area to actually rest. And it also won't make your folds look like AI or like super stiff where there's like a lot of folds. So basically you draw arm or something and you have a lot of like folds. So here I did that when I just didn't know about folds. I just added them because I thought like, yeah, more details and stuff. Also, yeah, like less is more with folds. So add like most important folds, like you see here when the fabric is being a little bit squished, okay? Like here to just show the overlap and compression of these fabrics, a little bit of here. Obviously there would be like ambient occlusion because this is like overlapping the pants, a little bit here, obviously here, like here, boom, boom. Just don't overdo it. Don't like draw every single fold. So you just keep that in mind that you don't want to really add like too much folds. Also a super actually important thing is to know what fabric you are drawing, because some fabrics, some like materials are more softer, more stiff, more rigid, more like harder, and depending on that you'll get different folds, okay? Like more folds, less folds, it all depends on the fabric. So you obviously gotta observe what are you drawing. So yeah, let's start with drawing actually these folds. So first let's start with some basic pipe folds. We want to place a basic fabric. Let's put some tension points here. Basically we would have something like that, boom, boom, and obviously one here and one here, okay? Obviously also a good tip is to space them not evenly. Here maybe we can put like a smaller one. Just don't space them evenly. Here you see that this is bigger than this, okay? Just don't make them have the same space. It will look super stiff. Let's draw these simple pipe folds. Boom, another pipe. And here it can be as simple as like an arm, I guess, here. Okay, like there would be this, okay? Boom, boom, and just like an arm raising. Okay, so here you see that we have these folds, boom, 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 and tension points here. Okay, it's pretty simple. And also while drawing, we want to actually simplify those folds into like basic shapes. So here obviously we have cylinders, but also we can use triangles. I really like actually using triangles. So for example, basically you have, there is a tension point, okay, boom, boom, and we have a triangle. And then you can actually like smooth this out here when you're drawing. Let's say you're drawing like a fold, okay, boom, boom, let's make here hard, and then we have some softer edges here. Now let's go and draw a simple diaper folds. So we have, let's place like two tension points. Let's place a smile for the frog, okay, boom, boom. So here let's add a simple fold like this, boom, boom, add some basic fabric, boom, and maybe actually push this a little bit like that, boom, okay. Also here, boom, and here we have our diaper fold. We can place like a triangle here, another triangle here, boom, 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 okay, and we have a simple diaper fold. obviously 2 tension points. Now for zigzag folds. And here we can basically draw a simple zigzag and now add some stuff on the side. And here we have triangles. Boom, boom. Obviously these will help us shade more. So basically you want to place like, just choose one. So depending on light source, let's say we can have lights from above. The upper one will like get in shadow because it's like from the side, it would be like this. This is the bottom one. Okay, so light shines here, boom, light shines here, not here. So we would have the upper ones in shadow and the lower ones not. So for example here, boom, boom, also here, boom, boom. Like again, here you see that there's like basically this passage. So you basically go here, goes like there. And obviously size, you gotta draw something. Obviously use a lot of references when drawing like folds and close. It will like save you a lot of time and a lot of nerves. Then we have half lock folds. So let's just draw like bent arm and basically here be the fabric hanging, something like that. Boom. Obviously this would be in the shadow. There will be like more harder edge on top, that, boom, boom. And obviously here we'll have other folds and stuff, fabrics here, boom, boom. Yeah, and maybe it would be something like that. And now for the spiral, so let's also draw like a cylinder. Let's choose a tension point. Let's draw them, boom. Can probably like make this brush thicker, boom, boom. And obviously depending on the fabric, it won't be as dark, okay? So this is probably like too dark for the folds. And also you want to soften these folds, okay? So the further they go, the softer will they get. I mean, the further to the tension point, because here it will be another tension point behind, you know, here, also here, because it's twisted, also here, boom, boom. In the middle, it will be like more softer. And now a simple pinch folds. So you can have a simple 2 tension points, and basically we have a pinch folds here, boom, boom. 2 fabrics. We can actually like pinch it with our fingers actually. So this goes here, this goes here, creates this pinch here. Obviously they will be much closer. Okay, boom, boom. The further it goes, more softer it will get. You just gotta remember about soft and hard edges when rendering, but that will be in the next video. And also a great tip for actually drawing clothes is to start with a basic mannequin of your character. You can see here, I started with it. So the clothes won't fly and won't look weird or wonky. They'll get like better proportions and it will be much easier to actually draw on top. Obviously you can eyeball the clothes like I did here, like even here you see mannequin here, some basic hips. And in this video you'll actually learn how to draw a basic human body. And you can also check out my Patreon. Bye.